Lesson 5-10, writing fractions as decimals. And in this lesson, you learn to express fractions as terminating and repeating decimals. When are you ever going to use this? Knowing how to express numbers in different forms can help you interpret weather statistics. Word-wise, these are the words that we are going to learn for this section: repeating decimal and bar notation. Home gardening has become a popular hobby. The top 5 vegetables grown in home gardens are tomatoes, peppers, onions, cucumbers, and beans. An estimated 2/5 of home gardeners grow beans. Okay, and this is from the National Gardening Association, Gallup organization. Any fraction can be written as a decimal using division. Okay, so when you talk about the fraction or the ratio 2/5, it simply means 2 divided by 5. Okay, be very careful on this though. The 2 goes inside the house and the 5 goes out. The 2 is defined as our. Okay, so the 2 in this case will be the dividend, which is the one that goes into the house. Sorry, let me undo that. The dividend, this is the one that goes into the house, and the divisor is the one that goes outside, and that's your denominator. Okay, so your dividend is your numerator, your divisor is your denominator, and that's what goes out. So it's 2 divided by 5. Okay, so write 2 as 2.0. Okay, and then we divide normally. We bring up the decimal point, and we ask ourselves how many 5s go into 20. That's 4, and then we end up with remainder of 0. Okay, the fraction 2/5 can be written as 0.4. A decimal like 0.4 is called a terminating decimal. Okay, because the division ends or terminates when the remainder is 0. And that's exactly why it's called a terminating decimal, because when you divide the numerator by the denominator, okay, it ends, the division ends or terminates, okay, because the remainder now is 0. Okay, and that's the reason why it's called a terminating decimal. Let's take a look at an example and see how this works. Express 1/8 as a decimal. Okay, so if you want to express 1/8 as a decimal, first we divide 1 by 8. 1 goes into the house. This is our house. 8 goes outside. Okay, so we get our decimal, 1 point. Bring the decimal point up right away. Ask ourselves, we know that there are no 8s that can go into 1, so we put up a 0, and then we bring down a 0, or we use 10. So how many 8s go into 10? That would obviously be equal to 1. Okay, and then we subtract 8. 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. Bring down that 0 right there. Okay, and then how many 8s going into 20? That would be 2. Okay, 2 times 8 would be equal to 16. Subtract that, you end up with 4. Bring down that 0 right there. Okay, how many 8s going to 40? That would be 5. Okay, so you end up with a remainder of 0. So 1/8 is equal to 0.125. Okay, method number 2, which we will not be using a lot except for just checking, is by using a calculator. Actually, there's no method 2, so we're good to go. Okay. Now, not all fractions are terminating decimals. Decimals like 0.5555555 are called repeating decimals because the digits repeat. The bar notation 0.5 can be used to indicate that the 5 digits repeat forever. Several repeating decimals are shown. 0.3 of 0.433333 dot means it repeats forever. Okay, put a bar notation on the digit that repeats. Okay, 0.12121212 is equal to 0.12. Put a bar notation on the digit that repeats. Okay, and 13.56756,756. Repeating digits are 567, and that's the reason why the bar notation is on top of 0.567, because they're the ones that repeat. Okay, and let's see how we convert a fraction into a repeating decimal using bar notation. Method 1. Okay, we have 3 over 11. That means 11 is our divisor that goes out of the house. 3 is our dividend that goes in. So the decimal after is after 3, so bring it up right away. We ask ourselves how many 3's going to 30. That would be, okay, 2. 2 times 22 is 2 times 11 is 22. Subtract that. That's going to be 8. Bring down a 0 right there. How many 11 is going to 8? That would 80. Sorry, that would be 7. 7 times 11 would be 77. Okay, subtract that. That would be 3. Bring down that other 0 right there. Okay, and then, oops, before that is another number 2. 2 times 22. 2 times 11 is 22. Subtract that. That's 8. And that's how you got the 7 at the end. Okay, and then you end up with 3. Okay, so if you notice, the digit starts to repeat, 0.27, 0.27, dot, dot, dot. It continues on. It will continue forever. Okay, and if you notice, you start off again with 3. That means it's the pattern will continue. Method number 2 is simply using a calculator. 3 divided by 11. You notice that the digits will repeat in your calculator. So this is what we call a repeating decimal. Okay, so the average annual precipitation in Georgia is about 43 3/5 inches. How many inches of precipitation does Georgia average each month? Okay, so we want to divide the 48 by 3/5 by 12, because there are 12 months in a year. So express 4 3/8 as a decimal. So expressing this as a decimal, we get 48 plus 3 divided by 5. Because remember, when you talk about a mixed number is the sum, okay, is the sum of the whole number and the mixed number. Okay, so 48 3/5 is the same as 48 plus 3/5, and then we simply divide that by 12. Okay, end up with 4.05. Georgia averages about 4.05 inches of precipitation each month. Okay, and these are terminating and repeating decimals. There's just one tip I want to leave you with before I end this video. Okay, how can you determine if a fraction is a repeating or a terminating decimal? By just looking at it. Let's say, for example, I have 1/10, and let's say I have 1/3. How do I know if 1/10 is repeating or terminating? Okay, and 1/3 is repeating or terminating? By just looking at it. Okay, the key is the denominator. Look at the denominator. Okay, if the denominator, okay, has prime factors of 2's and 5's, okay, that is a terminating decimal. Okay, 2's and 5's, or actually 2's or 5's. Okay, if it's other than 2's or 5's, it's always repeating. So for example, I give you a fraction 1 over 25. 1 over 25, the prime factorization of 25 is 5 times 5. Therefore, this is a terminating decimal. Okay, 1 over 9, the prime factorization of 9 is 3 times 3. Okay, not anywhere close to 2's or 5's. Therefore, this is a repeating decimal. And that's how you figure this one out. So 1/10, the prime factorization is 2 times 5, so this is a terminating decimal. Okay, since 3 has a factor of 3 in its denominator, it is considered to be a repeating decimal. So when I say 1 over 8, okay, the prime factors of 8 are 2 times 2 times 2. Therefore, this is a terminating decimal. And that's how you figure that one out. Okay, remember that. You will need this again next year and the year after that, and so on and so forth. And that's the end of our lesson. Thank you.